We're actually going to come straight to you, Mark. Mark Brosnan, Director of the Centre for Applied Autism Research at the University of Bath. Morning to you.
Morning.
Autism is such a tricky subject for us to cover here sometimes on the programme because it's still, even now, misunderstood a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And tomorrow is World Autism Awareness Day. So thank you for having me on to raise the awareness.
Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure. But there's also a step in going beyond awareness to appreciation exactly what is autism. So our online course is free for everybody, and it is to really develop the understanding of what autism is, what the research means in a very accessible and open way so that people can dip into the course and understand exactly what they want to understand.
So just give us a sort of snapshot of what's there. What are the resources available?
There's a whole wealth of resources. We have videos online so that people don't even have to read anything. They could just watch us talking about what autism is and the cutting-edge research that we've undertaken to develop the understanding of autism. But there's also elements on learning difficulties. A lot of people with autism have learning difficulties, and that's a very neglected area within research. But importantly, the course then focuses on what technologies are then available to help people with autism and how can teachers and parents best support children and adults with autism.
And what is there to help?
Well, there's a wealth of technologies. There are thousands of apps now available, and the question isn't, is there any technology to help people with autism, but how do you find the best technology to help your child with autism? So there's a program called Smart ASD, and we're developing a new app, and it's all free, and it's available through the online course, and it helps identify what your child can and can't do. Can they turn the machine on? Can they swipe? And then that will inform what apps are most appropriate.
Now, we often talk to people, parents with children who have autism, and one of the they face many practical problems, and it's about resources in the community, about how they're helped out. Now, that's almost a separate problem. Yours is almost like it's a resource-based issue. Yeah. How much practical help do you think? Presumably the idea is that can lead them to the right places to get help. Is that part of the idea?
Yes, absolutely. There are resources available for people with autism, and the internet specifically is in itself a huge resource. And there's a wealth of digital resources out there to help people with autism, but it is knowing about them, knowing how to use them, and knowing which ones are best. So technology itself can be hugely beneficial in helping people with autism.
And if you are caring for or looking after a child or an adult with autism, and as we know, things at times can get incredibly stressful and difficult, and your patience can be tested. What is there in that moment, perhaps if a child is having a meltdown or you are not able to reach them, what is there in that moment to help?
When you're in the moment, it's very hard to draw upon the appropriate resources. So a lot of what we try and do is to try and plan to avoid those moments and prepare for those moments. And it can be very difficult to change the behaviour of children with autism. So why focus on trying to change their behaviours? What about preparing yourself?
So that what can you do?
And a lot of it is about being in the right state of mind and knowing in advance what might occur and what the potential solutions are. So there are lots of stress-reducing strategies. So knowing what they are and in being educated and informed about that in itself can reduce stress, and it can increase your confidence. So you then know how you're then able to address these situations.
And how do people go about accessing this site?
You can come to our website, or hopefully on your website as well. The platform's called FutureLearn, and the course is all about supporting autism and matching technology to people with autism. So if you go to FutureLearn and look for the Smart ASD MOOC, we shall be there. And come and join us on the learning journey.
Thank you very much for coming for us this morning.
Thank you.
7:25 the time now.
Well, music often provides an escape from the real world, but in Hull, one sound installation aims to give listeners a better connection to their surroundings.